The middle of August will mark 40 years since the end of World War II in the Pacific, VJ Day. A big stepping stone toward that day was the U.S. retaking of the Philippine Islands. Bob Simon reports tonight how the jubilation of that time has faded in our time.
Anniversaries. 10 years since the United States lost a war in Southeast Asia. 40 years since Americans won a war in the same treacherous paddies. This is not Vietnam. It's the island of Leyte in the Philippines. You may not remember the name Leyte. You probably remember this picture. Leyte is where MacArthur returned to defeat the Japanese, to preside over Philippine independence, to reclaim Clark Field and Subic Bay, today America's largest foreign bases. To honor their liberator, the Filipinos have turned the picture into a statue on Leyte Beach. It's larger than life, just like MacArthur. Striding right behind him was Philippine General Carlos Romulo. What goes through a man's mind as he wades into history?
I must tell you the truth. I was wearing the boots that I bought in San Francisco to wear when we liberated Manila. So I was thinking of the boots that were getting wet. I didn't know we were going to wade in water. So I wore my boots.
If MacArthur could keep on walking, if he could leave his pedestal and have a look at what's going on in the island he returned to, he'd find that some things never change. The Filipinos MacArthur liberated are once again at war. It's a guerrilla war, and it's escalating. This is the only country in Southeast Asia where communist insurgents are gaining strength and could threaten not only the government in Manila, but U.S. interests in the Pacific, the cause 3,500 Americans died for in Leyte alone 40 years ago.
Everybody was screaming and thanking all the GIs passing down the streets, hugging them, kissing them, thanking them with all the gratitude that we could express.
And they were in tears. And they began to sing, God Bless America.
That reservoir of goodwill towards America has been draining recently. A short stroll from where MacArthur landed, today's main event is a cockfight. Just behind the beaches, there is squalor and poverty and backwardness and illiteracy. And the United States is so closely associated in people's minds with the floundering Philippine government that anger is directed at Washington as well as Manila. The Philippine Army has read the American book on pacification. It goes into a village not only with guns and grenades, but with doctors and dentists and singing the same old song.
We have to really win the hearts and minds of the people.
MacArthur was good at hearts and minds. On Leyte, he is one old soldier who has not faded away. Neither has the need for American involvement. Washington is helping, again, with economic and military aid. Dollars, not soldiers, which is how the Philippine Army wants it.
I, for one, speaking as a military commander, would not welcome the presence of American soldiers in fighting this war for us.
I have returned was a great line, not to be repeated. What America has to do now in the Philippines is even more complicated than what MacArthur did. It has to defeat an enemy, protect its bases, and keep these islands friendly. And it has to do all this without landing on Leyte's beaches. Bob Simon, CBS News, Leyte.